Hello again, Mike Boyce, the chairman of the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, and this is the weekly video that we do. And I think this week, since depending on when you watch this video, we'll be 7 to 10 days away from the Super Bowl events here in the Atlanta area. I've asked two special guests to come today to talk about all the things that are happening here in Cobb County in the days leading up to the Super Bowl. I got Holly Quinlan, who's the CEO of the Cobb Travel and Tourism, and then I have Dana Johnson, who works for the Cobb Chamber and the Economic Development Program. So they're going to be talking about all the great things. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back and enjoy, and let's be proud of all the things that Cobb County is doing to support the event down in Atlanta. So as I tell people, the game may be played in Atlanta, but they're going to party in Cobb County. So let's hear from Dana and Holly.
Well, I've always wanted to say you're looking live somewhere because this is a sports-themed broadcast we're doing from the Cobb TV studios. Today I've got Dana Johnson with Select Cobb, formerly with Cobb County, and Holly Quinlan with Cobb Travel and Tourism here today. We're talking about Super Bowl 53, if we're allowed to even say that word. I don't know. I don't know with all the restrictions. But it's an exciting time, obviously for Atlanta, but even for Cobb County, right, Holly?
Absolutely. There's so much activity happening throughout the entire county. You know, obviously the game is happening in Atlanta, but everything that is coming this way is just exciting and growing.
Can I get a hotel room this weekend if I need it?
They are few and far between. We actually were looking at that earlier at our office, and there are a few remaining, but they are going quickly.
So what will Cobb see from the Super Bowl?
Well, there's lots of excitement. So right now there are 4 events that are scheduled to take place in Cobb. Shaq's Funhouse, which will be live at the Battery. There is the football game, celebrity football game, that will feature former NFL players as well as musicians and celebrities. And there is a great kind of coaches clinic, players clinic that will be happening at Marietta High School. And then finally, one of our very favorite events, a premier event for the NFL, is the Taste of the NFL, which will be taking place at the Cobb Galleria Center.
Right. So a lot of that activity settled down by the Cumberland area. Mm-hmm. And I know you and I have both been in a lot of meetings where we talk about how we're going to handle the crowd and the additional challenges that will come from that.
Well, there are lots of things in place to really kind of handle the crowds. First off, and you asked about hotel rooms earlier, so there were 8,000 hotel rooms contracted through the NFL for their own sponsors in different groups. So that is already secured here, but we know that all of the other hotel rooms in Cobb are going to be filled with team fans. So there's going to be a lot of activity throughout the entire county at all of the hotels. And so we've been working with the transportation to figure out, the best way to get people to where they need to be. So we're really excited that there's going to be actually bus service on the 2 Sundays, the Sunday prior to the Super Bowl, and then of course on February 3rd, getting people from Cobb County safely down to the Super Bowl itself.
Yeah, I was talking to Andrea Ford earlier today, our Cobb Link director, and she said they're in the final stages of really fine-tuning the buses that will come from Cobb down to the stadium. And it's been difficult for them because many of the roads down there are closed. But I think they finally figured that out, and as you mentioned, they will be running a lot of extra service down there.
Yeah, security is very tight down there. It's actually a Tier 1 rated event, which means that it's the highest level of security for any national event. And so for lots of different areas, there's a perimeter around. So if you were going to take, say, Uber or Lyft down, there's a 5 or 10 block perimeter around. So it can't drop you right at the door, but it at least can get you close. MARTA can get you even closer, and then Cobb Link can connect you in as well.
So of those events that you mentioned going on in conjunction with the Super Bowl, either sanctioned or not, can anybody just go to those?
No, the events, several of the events that I talked about here, particularly the Shaq's Funhouse as well as Taste of the NFL, are ticketed events. But the others are more open to the public. The football game is $30 a person, and then it is free at the Marietta High School. But the biggest event for the Super Bowl is the live event, which is down at Centennial Olympic Park. And that is free, open to the public. Anyone and everyone can come and enjoy.
Yeah, just be interesting getting down there and getting back to Cobb County.
Yeah.
All said and done. Speaking of transportation, Dana Johnson's here, and I know I've talked to Carl Von Hagel probably more in the last 2 months than I have in the 2 years that I've been around here. There's a lot going on at Cobb International Airport that you're involved with.
First of all, kudos to Carl and his team because they have done an absolutely phenomenal job. They started preparations for this years ago in looking at best practice models, and they are prepared like any airport is anywhere in the country. So kudos to them for doing absolutely fantastic work, and they're going to pull this off with great fanfare in the next coming weeks. There are a number of investments that the county made in order to start the process of welcoming our guests as they come in through McCollum International Airport. Some of them by the county themselves, and some of them that Cobb Travel and Tourism and Select Cobb are doing jointly. First of all, the county is doing two great things. First of all, as planes are flying in, they'll be greeted with a banner going down the tower that will welcome them to Cobb County and make sure that they know that their business is appreciated here in Cobb. As they kind of go into the main terminal area, there'll be an interactive touchscreen panel that'll let them find out about Select Cobb and the incentives available. It'll let them learn about Cobb Travel and Tourism and some of the incredible events that we do all year long, as well as some hospitality information, hotel information, and of course information on Hawthorne, which is the fixed base operator for our airport. As they check in, from there they will be greeted and asked to come up to the hospitality suite that Cobb Travel and Tourism and Select Cobb are jointly doing together. The hospitality suite is just our opportunity to welcome people to Cobb County, let them relax a little bit, maybe have an adult beverage or a Coca-Cola, some light hors d'oeuvres as we are waiting for their car, Uber, limo, whatever is picking them up to bring them off to the next destination. So it's just an opportunity to welcome aboard and make sure we're giving them some great Southern hospitality.
I drive by the airport quite a bit, but I got a feeling the Super Bowl weekend is going to look like it's never looked before.
Everything is going to look different. From the incredible banners that Holly and her team are doing around some areas of Cobb County where the events are occurring, to the improvements the county is making up at McCollum International Airport. It's going to have a different vibe to it and a different excitement to it that you only really get when you have this big international event.
Yeah, I think Carl Von Hagel says he's accounted for every square inch of tarmac space out there for these aircraft.
It's going to be a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
Why is this such an important group of people to try to let them know that they're in Cobb County?
Well, as Dana said, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to welcome a group of people that are decision makers and that are going to be introduced to Cobb, probably many for the very first time. And so, this first impression is something that is really important, and making sure that they are welcomed and greeted and feel kind of the Cobb Southern hospitality is really important. And I know from Select Cobb's perspective, it's the same.
Absolutely. With the type of executives that will be flying in through McCollum, this is really an opportunity for us to do some direct marketing to people who make decisions about their businesses. So we're really doing a three-phase approach to send out some early information to them, welcoming them to Cobb and letting them know that they're appreciated for coming through. As it gets closer to the event, we'll be sending some more information about some of the events in Cobb, and then as they go, we'll make sure that we send something thanking them for coming through. We're also using this as an opportunity to make sure that the business guides that kind of highlights our economic development program will leave with them as they head out the door, so that they're taking something back, so in the future, hopefully, they bring their business to Cobb County.
Back in my previous life as a news reporter, I did cover the last Super Bowl in Atlanta 20 years ago. And we hope the weather is not the same as it was back then. In fact, it's looking much better. But I also get the feeling that compared to that Super Bowl, it was really concentrated right there in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. This is a lot different. Why is that, do you think?
I think this is more of a regional approach, and that there are a lot of assets beyond just being downtown that the Atlanta Host Committee is able to take advantage of, as well as, there are just so many other opportunities kind of throughout the entire corridor, particularly up to Cobb. Like I said, the taste of the NFL being here, that's a premier event for the NFL, and there's a lot of excitement around that. And so, there's, with 100,000, 150,000 people coming, they can't all stay in downtown, so they're looking for other areas, and we are a very fortunate, close destination for them.
So Dana, what is your best case scenario for getting in touch with these people who are coming into this airport, planting the seed that they're in Cobb County, and what do you hope that they do with that seed once they leave?
Once they leave, we just hope they keep Cobb in their mind, so that as we continue to have conversations with them in the future, that they come and decide to invest in our community and bring jobs down here to Cobb County.
All right. Any final thoughts from both of y'all as we get ready for the big event?
No, it's going to be exciting.
I would just say that the partnership between the county, the chamber, and Cobb Travel and Tourism is always fantastic, as well as our regional collaborations with everybody in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, there's been so much behind the scene work going on that I've been privy to that it was surprising to me. The fact that we're opening our emergency operations center, we're moving some police assets, juggling some schedules to get more officers on the street during that whole period. So there's been a lot of work that's gone into this, and hopefully it'll go off smoothly.
Yeah, and to Dana's point, there's so much collaboration between all of our teams, but especially with Atlanta, and in the inclusion and the planning and everybody doing this together. And so it's definitely a regional event.
All right, I promised I would not get their predictions for the final score of the game or the winner. So we'll leave that to the folks on the football field. We'll deal with the stuff up here in Cobb County, and I appreciate you both coming in and kind of filling us in about all the excitement going on in relation to the big game here in Cobb County. So thanks.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Go Pats.
All righty. Thanks.